Well, hello there. Welcome once more to Quantities Kitchen. And if this is your first time stopping by, I would like to say a very warm welcome to you. I'm sharing with you today the recipe for grandma's cereal. Grandma's cereal is what we call Weanimix in my house, or maybe you would call it Tom Brown. Absolutely delicious, very simple to make, very inexpensive, but an amazing food for you to introduce, especially to your kids as they start to get weaned. My mom always sends me back here with 3 of these. This is made with rice, corn, and wheat, and this is what I'm sharing with you today. I know you are going to love it, and your kids will definitely do as well. So here are the ingredients we are going to be using. I have some bulgur wheat. I also have here some soybeans, some granules or peanuts, some rice, and for this, please do not use rice that is fragrant. So I'm not using my typical jasmine rice. This is just regular long grain rice with no fragrance on it. I also have my white corn. This is the kind that we have in Ghana. This I got from the African market. So the rule of thumb in making Weanimix is that for every 4 parts of grain, so my grain in this situation is my corn, you are going to add 2 parts of legume. Legume here is my soybeans and my peanut. So I have 1 cup of each, which comes together to form the 2 parts. And for the rice, I'm going to do the same. So I have 4 cups rice, 1 cup soybean, and 1 cup peanuts. And for the wheat one, I have here my pack of bulgur wheat, which was just 1/4 cup over 4 cups. In total, I have my soybeans and my peanuts as well. So let's get started. To start, I'm going to be toasting my ingredients. So here are my soybeans. Initially, I had measured out 2 cups just to toast in the oven, and then 1 cup to do on the stovetop. I changed my mind, so you see me here with 2 cups of peanuts here. I'm going to add the extra 1 cup. Everything will go in the oven, and then I'll show you how to do some of the other ingredients on the stovetop. You can definitely roast everything on the stovetop. It just takes a lot of time for me. So you pop everything into the oven, and then you're just watching it every now and then. I've preheated my oven to 360 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to toast these ingredients here. I'm going to be toasting my rice on the stovetop, so I have my pan here. I've preheated it, and now I've added my 4 cups of rice. I'm going to be stirring until the rice loses its translucency and also have a few specks of brown in here. That is what you want to achieve with the toasting. So as you can see, my rice is not translucent anymore at this point. It has a few specks in here. I'm going to give it about 2 more minutes. So a total of about 10 minutes is all you need. Definitely not on high heat. So I'm using medium heat here. And at this point, our rice is perfectly toasted. I have a lot of brown specks in here, and I'm transferring it into a bowl. You don't want to leave it in the pan because the residual heat is just going to let it burn. Spread it out just so it cools off quickly, and now I'm going to check my ingredients in the oven. So at this point, it has been about 25 minutes. Our corn is nowhere near being done. The edges of my pan has very toasted grains. I'm just going to spread it around just so that every part of it gets the chance to get evenly cooked, and then pop this back in the oven. So I pull out my soybeans. It is getting done. It needs an extra 20 minutes or so to be done. I'm just spreading it around as well, just so that all parts of the pan gets very toasted grains and not just the edges. Pop that back and check in on my peanuts as well, and I'm going to do the same thing. Just stir it around, then pop it back in to finish cooking. So this, of course, is buying me a lot of time. I'm doing my other chores whilst I wait for it to toast, as opposed to me just standing by the stovetop and stirring every ingredient until I am done. If you are just making one kind of cereal, then maybe it's easier for you to do that. But I'm making 3 different kinds, so I have a lot more ingredients, and it's easier just to do this. So in the same pan, I'm going to toast my wheat. I'm using the whole packet, and so that is 4 1/4 cups. I didn't feel like taking out the 1/4 cup. I think it's okay. So if you are using the same packet, then maybe you would want to remove it, but it was perfect. You don't even need to do that. This is actually crushed bulgur wheat, so it doesn't take that long to toast at all. You don't even see anything. You're just trying to warm it up, make it a little fragrant and a little partially cooked. So 10 minutes is perfect. At this point, I've transferred it also into a bowl, just so I don't burn it, spreading it around. And I'm going to set that aside and focus on the other ingredients in the oven. So after a total of 40 minutes, my peanuts are done. beautifully roasted. This is how I typically roast my peanuts. Just peel them and save them in a jar, and then we just eat them, or to make peanut butter. Very simple. And I'm going to bring this out of the oven. My soybean is also done. It is hard for you to tell when your soybean is cooked. It doesn't really change color, but when you pick a grain and then you just try to rub it with your thumb and your fingers, you can see that the skin peels off and you see the nut here, and that is how you know it's done. If it's not cooked, you're not going to be able to peel it when you rub it. So I'm bringing my corn here in the middle because it could use an extra 20 minutes to get perfectly toasted. I'm transferring my toasted soybeans into a bowl, and I'll do the same with the peanuts and set them aside. They've cooled off at this point. That is why I'm using my hand. Do not do this if it's still hot with your hand. Please use a spatula or something to do it. Delicious, yeah, yeah. Delicious, delicious, yeah, yeah. Delicious, delicious. Our corn has been roasting in the oven for approximately an hour now. Just look at how beautiful it is now. Very well toasted and evenly done too. Time to come out of here, so I'm bringing it out of the oven, transferring it right away into a bowl because that is very toasted and the pan is hot, so I didn't want to take any chances with that. And just like that, we have our beautiful grains of interior also done and ready. I'm going to start getting everything paired up. So I have my peanuts here. Normally I like to remove some of the skins, and so just rub it a little bit and use my blow dryer to just blow off the chaff of my peanuts. That is how my husband actually does it for me when I ask him to remove the skins of my peanuts. Very simple, very quick way to do it. So that's a kitchen hack for you. And so I'm going to be mixing up my ingredients. So I have here my rice, and I've added 1 cup peanuts and 1 cup here of soybean at this point. I'm just going to mix it all up just so it's well combined, so when you actually start to grind it, you don't have the greasy legumes. You know, they have lots of oil, so you want to make sure that they are well combined, so it enables you to blend without having your ingredients stick. To the corn, I'm going to do the same. I've added 1 cup of peanut and 1 cup of soybean. Mix it all up as well, just for the same reason I just explained. Set it aside, and then we are going to mix up the last ingredient, or the last one, which is wheat. I have my 1 cup of peanuts here, so there we go. 1 cup soybeans. Mix it all up as well, and then it's time to start blending. Very simple, very quick. If you are in Ghana at this point, you'll be taking your ingredients to the mill, the commercial mill, Nika, to have it blended. Since that is not available to me, I'm going to be using my Vitamix jug. So this is actually a dry grain jug, so that is different from your regular Vitamix jug. If you happen to have one that has both, that came with both a dry mill and a regular jug, then all the better. This I got separate, so this is a whole separate attachment or part of my Vitamix that I just got for this purpose. And so I'm going to start grinding it now. So we are making our wheat first. We're just going to blend until it is very smooth. And you are most likely going to need to use your pestle to help the blender to propel. This is because your nuts in here, or the legumes, actually have a lot of oil in it, so it makes it tend to just clump up, and you want it to be able to just continue to run in the blender for you to have it very well blended. And that is what we have now. Very powdery, beautiful texture here. I'm spreading it out because, like I said, it forms clumps, and I'm just trying to break them, let it have its powdery consistency that is desired. And now I'm going to blend the remaining 3 cups of my ingredients. And that is it. Our wheat Weanimix is done. I'm going to now start working on the rice one as well. Very simple. Imagine if you are in Ghana and you are just taking this to the commercial mill, you'll be done in a heartbeat. And so if you happen to be home and you are making a big batch, like my mom typically would do for her and all of us and her friends and some of our friends, you probably would be using olonka of your grains. So maybe 4 olonka of your wheat, and then 1 olonka of your soybean, 1 olonka of your peanuts. Toast everything, mix them up, and send them to the mill. Very simple. So pretty much this is what I'm trying to say when I say 4 parts grain, to 2-part legume. I hope this helps you. That is the general rule to make Weanimix. Very simple. So our rice is done. The first batch at least. I've poured it in here, spreading it out. Very beautiful texture, very powdery. This is just amazing. So now I'm just saying to myself, next time I go home, I don't need to carry all those big packs of Weanimix. My mom is like one whole suitcase full of different kinds of Weanimix I have to bring. I can just make it home myself when I'm here and just use my space for other things that is harder to get here or more expensive, because this is so inexpensive even here, and I don't need to carry this and pay for excess luggage just because I can make it here now. So I hope this is helpful to you as well. So we are going to be making the corn one now, which is the very last one. And as you can notice, I didn't bother to wash my blender in between. These are all dry. I needed a dry jug. I'm doing it all together, so I'm just going with the flow and wash my blender when I'm all done with everything. This smells so good. I love corn, so you can only imagine what this is doing to me here. Very fragrant. And the second batch in here now, I'm just trying to get everything totally out of the blender, because you'll find out some of it will just stick into the bottom, and then you just have to use a spatula to just get everything out. Now I'm trying to make sure that it is loose so it's not clumps, just like this. And that is pretty much it. Because this is not the typical mill back home, which makes everything into very, very powdery texture, the dry mill does a great job, but you find out that you have a little bit of residue in it. I want this to be as smooth as I can, as close to the texture home, you know, if I was doing this in a commercial mill. So I'm running this through a strainer into mihuhuso kakra, as we would say, just like you would do with kokonte and other powdery stuff. Just trying to make sure that I get the few parts that are not all the way crushed into powder out of this, and have a very good texture, especially with my kids. If it's gonna end up looking or tasting different, something different from grandma's cereal, as we fondly call it here, then I'm not going to have them ever eat this again. So strain this. If your blender doesn't get it all the way, just test it, you know, try to strain a little bit. If you don't have that much residue, then of course just go ahead and put everything in your container and save it. So this right here is my rice, and this is all the residue I had for it. Not too bad at all. I'm just trying to use my spatula to run through so I get as much out as possible, and this is all that is left. Not too bad at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and discard this, and there we have it, our rice cereal, or our Weanimix, Tom Brown, whatever you want to call it. It's beautifully done, silky texture. This is like very powdery consistency at this point. I'm so happy with this. I've set it aside, and I'm going to do the same with my corn cereal. A little over 2 years ago, I visited a friend in Ghana, and she served me some Weanimix that she bought, and it had a little bit of spice in it, so I really liked it. We've never had spice in ours, and that is one terrible thing from eating home all the time. You don't get to see what else has been added out there. So I was very excited about that, and so every now and then when I make Weanimix, I just put a little bit of ginger powder in it just to give that kick. So that is for you if you want to do that every now and then as well. Very, very good. And look, our corn Weanimix is also done. Beautiful texture, as you can see, very powdery, all done in no time. I set that aside, and now we are going to just work on our wheat, and that is pretty much it. This, all in all, with me filming and all, took me about 3 hours to do, so that is not bad at all. So imagine if you are just making it at home for yourself, not trying to have position cameras and everything. All you pretty much will need, especially if you are going to take it to the mill, is just pop it in the oven, get it done, and then cool off and send it out in no time. In about 2 hours, this is all gonna be done. Very, very simple. I hope you make these for your kids. Kids really, really love Weanimix. Yeah, my kids just love it, and this is going to make you have your kids, if they are good eaters, they're just going to plump up in no time at all. You're gonna have all the chubbiness you want in a baby. If they are good eaters, not if they are like mine. And look, so the wheat I have here, my residue as well, and this, I could have just saved it, you know, and then reblended it, but I was just rushing to get my daughter from school. I just wanted to be done with this. I think I still had my money's worth making this, way more than my money's worth. So this I'm just gonna go ahead and discard, and that is it. Look at this beautiful one as well. This is my favorite, if you ask me. I love wheat, the wheat Weanimix at least, and the corn maybe is my next, but rice is so different. Okay, so now I'm trying to say they're all my favorite. I don't even know which one I love best. So good. Just look at this. Once your Weanimix completely cools off, you want to transfer into airtight containers, cover and store in your pantry or kitchen cabinet, and just be using it as and when you need it. This is so simple. I have to say you ought to try this, please. For yourself, your kids, you don't have to have kids to have this. Weanimix is just for everybody. Very delicious if you want a hot cereal. Winter is coming up. This is just like very comforting in the winter. When it gets cold, I tend to eat this a lot. We just love it. All my family, my own family, my extended family, this is like a big deal for us. And I'm so happy I've been able to make this all by myself at home. Normally, you know, this is the kind that mama is supervising. You're the one sitting there and toasting the ingredients and being sent to go to the mill and make it. And I was so proud of myself when I was done. So this is how it is served. I have made here the rice one. Very simple, very delicious. It was so good, just like mama makes it. So yes, I absolutely nailed it, and I'm so happy to share this with you. I hope you try it. I know you are going to love it. So in making this, I used a half cup of my cereal, so my already made Weanimix, just a half cup of it. Mix it up with 2 cups of water, and then just bring it to a boil. Let it thicken up, stirring whilst it is cooking until it thickens. Add some salt and sugar to it. That is pretty much it. Normally we add sugar whilst it cooks. You can do this way as well, and this actually is the corn one. So for this, I put the sugar in on the table. Normally it gets a little runny if you don't eat it right away, so it's best to just add your sugar as it cooks. And this is it. Just look at how beautiful this is. This smells so good. I love corn, so roasted corn in anything is just going to make me just go gaga. And this, you need to try it. I mean, you need to try all 3 of them, for seriously, they're all good. And this is the actual true color of the corn. It was a little bit overexposed in the beginning when I started filming that. Very perfect. If you know Weanimix, you know this is how it should look like. Yummy. And this is the wheat. Beautiful texture. It smells so good. Absolutely delicious. Already made. And for all of them, like I said, a half cup, 2 cups of water is how I made it. If you are going to make it for a larger group, you just continue to multiply the ingredients. So simple. Yes, on a typical Saturday, this is me with my family enjoying this goodness. Absolute delight. We all just love it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this is going to be one of your family favorites, especially your little ones will love it. Please let me know how it goes. Thanks so much for watching. If this is your first time watching me, my name is Quantua, and making simple, replicable family meals is what truly makes my heart happy, and I hope you subscribe to my channel. Please give me a thumbs up for this, and please share this video to all your friends who have little ones especially. And until I come your way next time with something delicious, be loving, be kind, be happy.